Hi Capricorn, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your October 2021 tarot reading. Thanks to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, the Celtic Coral spread is always an all-spelled an oracle card and a mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus will be as far as that goes. So let's see what we have. Okay, so we have Jupiter, and Jupiter is actually in Aquarius, which is your second house of possessions, finances, self-worth, and it's actually going to be going direct around the middle of October. All right, we have 12, so your 12th house is actually Sagittarius. We have the South Node there, and then Venus is going to be there pretty early on, I think right around the end of the first week as well. And 12th house represents spirituality, sometimes self-sabotage as well, mental health. And speaking of Sagittarius, we got that in this dice as well. So yeah, could be a lot of focus on what's going on in your inner world. And with Jupiter, like we said, probably a mixture of finances in there. And of course, we can't overlook the fact that Jupiter is the natural ruler of Sagittarius too. So we'll keep those in mind as we go through the main spread. All right. Oh, in the main situation position, we have the Seven of Wands, which is Leo energy, Judgment, and Four of Wands. So, oh, and by the way, I usually view Judgment as Scorpio energy. So, interesting mixture of energies here because it looks like there could be some resistance on your part to an opportunity coming back around. Now, one way this could be playing out could be a relationship coming back, an opportunity for a relationship to be put on a more stable ground. For others of you, this could even represent possibly an offer on a home. That's another way I could see you playing out too. But either way, it looks like there's some resistance on your part. Now, this could also just represent you guys defending what you already have too, though. And maybe if there was someone trying to get in the way of that in the past, they might be coming around to disrupt that as well. So I could see that going either way there. And this can be around investments too, given that for you guys, Leo energy represents your 8th house. Speaking of 8th house energy, in the challenge or obstacle position, we have Death, which is the major arcana card for Scorpio, Page of Swords, and the Seven of Cups. So yeah, I mean, really what I'm seeing is whatever this is, it looks like an opportunity that you might have thought was dead and gone is going to be coming back around. Someone might reach out to you this month, and it seems like it's going to really throw you for a loop, leave you a little bit confused. Could even be an old friend from the past coming back around, or maybe a family member, because it does seem like the ties would be a bit deeper there in that regard. But yeah, I feel like that's primarily what it is. So you might feel like this situation is going to disturb your peace in some way. All right, in the foundation position, we have the High Priestess. So this is actually Pisces energy here. And to see this come up in the foundation, I feel like this is saying that you guys really will be trying to keep the peace this month and try to stay calm, regardless of all the noise that might be going on around you. This could be you guys, being very careful about what you communicate to others as well, given that Pisces energy represents your 3rd house of communication. So whatever this is, I feel like you might initially defend yourselves, but then you might withdraw a little bit to not, make sure you're not saying too much around the situation. And this could just be saying that the key for getting through this energy would be to, take a deep breath and try to rely on your intuition to see what these intentions are around this person coming back around. All right. In the past position, we have the Magician in reverse and the Knight of Cups in reverse. So to see both of these cards come up in reverse too, this is interesting. I could see this playing out 2 different ways too. One could be saying that you might have actually really wanted this situation, whatever it is in the past, but for whatever reason you might have withdrawn. You might have felt like you just didn't have the confidence at the time to come forward and approach this person regarding this offer. So that could be what throws you for a loop too, right? You might have really wanted this for a while, and then for whatever reason you might have talked yourself out of it being a possibility, Now all of a sudden they might come back into the picture and it might just really throw you for a loop, because sometimes once you get your mind set on, okay, this isn't going to happen, and then it comes back around, it can kind of throw you for a loop naturally. So that could be what this is pointing to. Now, for others of you, this could represent that this could be saying that they already tried to approach you in the past and you might have turned them down. And then in that point, in that regard, it'd be a bit more of a nuisance, I'm sure, if they come back around. So could play out either way there. All right. In the present position, we have the Knight of Swords. So this is Gemini energy here. And for those of you watching for a while, you know that this card tends to come up a lot during Mercury retrograde cycles. And of course, we will have the Mercury retrograde in October. At the time of recording this, it's just in shadow. It hasn't officially started the retrograde cycle yet, but yeah, that's coming up soon. And that's going to be in your 10th house of career and social status. And Gemini energy for you guys represents your 6th house of work, daily routines. So this could even be a work opportunity coming back around from the past. Someone else had a similar energy to that too. I can't remember who it was though, but just to give you the same example I gave them, as far as maybe this was a job you might have applied for a long time ago, right? You might have really been looking forward to it, never really heard anything back on it, and at that, it's been such a long time that you've completely written off the possibility of having the job, and then all of a sudden the offer comes back around out of nowhere. You're like, okay, what's the deal with that? So that's the type of dynamic I could see happening with that. And of course, this could just be saying in general, like I was saying with the High Priestess in the Foundation, if this is involving someone coming back around in a bit of an abrupt way, could just be saying to be mindful around communication. And obviously with the Mercury retrograde, there is more of an opportunity for some confusion around communication. So staying in that High Priestess energy and really trying to think through your words before you saying them might be a good idea this month. All right. In the near future position, we have the Hangman. So this is actually a Pisces energy for me as well. So interesting to see two Pisces major arcana energies. Again, that's your 3rd house communication as well. But yeah, again, I'm seeing the same thing here where whatever the situation is, it looks like it might come in pretty abruptly. But I feel like this represents you guys really just taking some time away to think it through, right? So that would be a good thing too if you're able to communicate that to this person. Just let them know, like, hey, this kind of caught me off guard. I'm going to need some time to think about it, right? Regardless of what the situation is. Like I said, it could be an offer on a home. It could be a family member or a friend coming back from years back. It could be a love relationship coming back around. So yeah, I feel like this is saying you're going to at least try to take that time to really think things through rather than outright accept or reject the situation. All right, your influence in the situation, we have the Lovers. So this is actually the major arcana card for Gemini. And I feel like this could be saying for some of you, you might actually just be hoping for things to work themselves out behind the scenes. Because that's the energy I get with this card lately. But for others of you, again, this is pointing to work and daily routines as well. So yeah, I don't know, but for either way, I'm getting a bit of a passive energy from you guys on this, which makes sense given what we saw there as well. Which I just feel like you're saying, okay, you know what? I'm just going to hope for karma to work itself out. And this is going to be a pretty intense month. Like I said, we have the Mercury retrograde, obviously. It's going to start out squaring Pluto. It's going to oppose Chiron when it ends and then come back across those same degrees. We have Pluto turning direct. That's in your sign. We have Jupiter and Saturn are both going to go direct in Aquarius, your 2nd house of finances. So there's going to be a lot of shifts in October for sure. So this might not be the worst stance to take to say, you know what, there's going to be a lot of shifts going on. Let me just let them play out naturally, right? Let me not overreact to anything and just see how things play out. All right, in the environment position, we have the 2 of Pentacles. So I had it sideways because that's how the card fell out. And I was like, well, yeah, that's pretty fitting. Because for some of you, of course, 2 of Pentacles in the upright would represent having difficulty around making a decision. Whereas if it were reversed, I would say that there is a decision being made. So to see this come out sideways, I feel like it's a 50-50 type dynamic. For some of you, this can represent another person, though. And that might even be what's throwing you off balance, too. They might seem to come in so abruptly that you might doubt if they're coming at things from the right angle, right? So, for example, just a super generic example. If you're someone who normally follows astrology and you know that there's a Mercury retrograde and how that might impact things, but then this person has no idea, right? So you might be like, okay, is this really what they're wanting, or is this just them under the influence of the retrograde and not even understanding that that's what it is, right? So it could just be one of those things like that. But this is Capricorn energy here, I do have to say. So for some of you, this could represent your energy and just withdrawing, like, okay, I get it, right? This is the offer. I'm going to need some time to sit with this and I'll get back to you, right? So I feel like that's really going to be the energy you guys are going to be giving off this month. All right. And in the hopes or fears position, we have the Tower. So given all the energy we did talk about, this totally makes sense to have this come up in your hopes or fears. Obviously, I'm going to view this as more of a fear, which is to say that you're like, okay, you know what? I don't want to make any abrupt decisions and end up rocking the boat here. So I'm just going to sit back a bit, think it through before making any additional moves. So I feel like this is a fear that you have, and that's kind of guiding why you're taking these laid back approaches that you are. Which, like I said, given the astrological climate, probably a good month to think that way anyway. All right. And in the outcome position, we have the Queen of Wands in reverse. So this is Aries energy here, court card for Aries, and to see this come up in reverse, I'm getting that same type of theme, which is to say you're not really going to be taking action this month. So I certainly feel that you will take the information in, and I don't feel like you're going to be dismissive of it. Like I said, initially you might come off as pretty guarded toward it, but I do feel like even if that's, if you give that person the initial push away, I do feel like you're really going to give it a lot of thought after the fact. But with this coming up in the reverse position in the outcome, I feel like this is saying that you're not really inclined to make a move either way this month. All right, and bottom of the deck, we have the Emperor. So more Aries energy here, Major Arcana energy for Aries. So there's quite a bit of Aries energy in here too. So for some of you, this can be around a family member, possibly resurfacing after a long time. There's a few different ways it could play out. For others of you, it might be someone you've been casually dating, and then they might all of a sudden ask if you want to move in together, and you might be like, where did this come from, right? There's a few different ways I can see the energy playing out, but it looks like this is going to be the energy that you're up against this month, where you have someone who's coming across as pretty persistent, but if it seems like it's way out of character for them, you might really start to say, like I was saying, like, okay, is this really how they're feeling, or is this more of a retrograde vibe hitting them, and next month they'll feel differently, so maybe I'll just ride this out and see what it is, right? So that's what I see there. All right, moving on to your Oracle card, we have Come to the Edge. There's the artwork, and number is 36. So we'll see what it says. Okay, it says courage, taking a leap of faith, overcoming fear, and accepting risk. The Oracle's message, facing the unknown is the only choice you really have right now if you want to progress. It's okay to be afraid. Now is the time to take a risk that is not calculated, to feel the exhilaration as you ready yourself for a leap of faith. Spirit is present, so let go of fear. You are called to express your true self. Listen to your heart and soul, not your head. Come to the edge and discover that you can fly. You must step into the unfamiliar so that you may find your miracles. So interesting message there, especially when it mentioned to listen to your heart and soul, not your head. That makes me feel like that High Priestess energy and Hangman energy we were talking about. That could be pretty significant for you guys this month. And also even the Lover's card too, where I was saying, hoping for things to be worked out behind the scenes. So hope that resonated with you. The relationship message says it's scary to be truly intimate with someone, to allow him or her to see all of you, especially the parts of you that you've kept hidden and protected. Now is the time to take that risk and let yourself be seen, truly seen. It's important that you speak up, voice what you need, state who you are, say what you hope for. This is not the time to play it safe, but to take a leap of faith. You'll be glad you did. If you're seeking a relationship, the same applies. Take one step toward the gods, and they will deliver what you truly desire. So yeah, reading that message, I will say for the majority of you, I don't feel like it's you guys who are on to look out for a relationship. I feel more like this is someone that's going to be coming toward you. And maybe that's going to be part of the challenge, right? Maybe they're going to ask you what you want, right? So, like I said, if this was someone you've been casually dating for a bit, maybe they hit you with that conversation out of nowhere. So, where do you see this going? Like one of those types of conversation. You're like, whoa, where did that come from? So, that's one way I could see the energy playing out. But hopefully, that resonates with you. The prosperity message says, if ever there was a time for you to take a leap of faith into the unknown, it is now. This is the perfect moment to take a big risk. The unknown is the only choice now, and if you come to the edge, you will discover treasure beyond your wildest dreams. Allow your courage to lead you in spite of your fears. You don't need to know the exact form of what you're going for. The essence is much more powerful, and Spirit has a way of delivering an even better version of prosperity than you could imagine. Take that step. The results will be amazing. So, it was interesting as I was reading that because it brought me back to the fact that the new moon that you guys are going to have in Libra, which is your 10th house of career and social status, it's actually going to be conjunct Mars. So there might be a bit of a bold energy that comes with that new moon. But like I said, just keep in mind that Mercury is retrograde. So perfect example of how that could play out is, maybe okay if you really feel compelled to jump into a new job, just make sure you really read over the paperwork very well and ask all the questions you need to ask before you sign. Not that you can't have success there, but just make sure you really know what you're getting into before you do it. All right, and the protection message, I'll read that just in case because that energy seems to be in a bit of a contrast to what you guys are in, which it seems like you're the exact opposite of taking action at this time, right? It looks like you're thinking things through but not ready to take action. So we'll see if the protection message will resonate with you too. It says, fear is leading the way into places you don't need to go. Most of what you fear at the moment is an illusion stemming from an old belief that isn't even true. Now is a time for courage. You will not be lost at sea. You will not watch everyone else get what you want while you are left alone and unloved. Oh, the drama of it all. False evidence appearing real is hovering over you. The more you dwell on fear, the more real it will become. Ask yourself, who in me is afraid? Love that part of you. Ask, is it true and real right now? The answer, most likely, is no. Give yourself a hug. It's okay to be scared. Courage must be summoned. In spite of your fear, even when you're not feeling confident, Spirit will always catch you. So pretty positive message there, and the whole thing about asking yourself questions, that makes me think of the High Priestess energy and the Hangman energy. So yeah, for a lot of you, I do feel like you're definitely going to take that deep dive and really look at what these events are showing you about yourselves and really thinking things through. And even if you don't take action this month, I feel like you will get yourselves a lot closer to at least knowing where you want to go for sure. But hopefully that resonated as well. All right, and lastly, we have a mudra for you guys, and this is your mudra for the month. It's the Shunya Mudra. And let's see, ooh, there's a lot on this card, but let's see if we can get to focus for one. All right, so not everything's going to fit in the frame there, so if you want to pause it to take a screenshot, you can, and then I'll move it up so we can get the rest in the frame. Okay, it says improves hearing, reduces ringing in the ears and earache, decreases vertigo, improves balance, especially useful during travel. With air travel, it helps the ears adjust to the changing pressure during takeoff and landing. During water and land travel, it helps prevent motion sickness. So if that sounds like a mudra you think would be beneficial for you guys, I will put the name of it in the description of the video as always. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.